Hello friends, my name is Kaylee and today we are back on my island Ember for a hard mode challenge video. In today's video, we're going to walk through everything I did once we got Ember to 3-star rating. So let's get into it. Alright, so when I went to talk to Isabel to find out our star ratings, I really didn't think we had 3 stars at this point because my island is a total mess. The island has a bunch of dropped items all around and I really didn't have that many placed items, so at best I was expecting a 2-star rating here. My plan for the day was to make a video on how I got the island to 3 stars, but as you can see we got there without trying accidentally. So instead we're going to go through everything I did once I got the island to 3 stars because so many more things happen once you reach this point in the game. I went ahead to the next day to get our K.K Slider concert because nothing really changes in the game until you have him visit your island. After the concert we step outside our house to find Mr. Tom Nook stalking us outside of our house. But it's worth it because it gives us the terraforming tool app for our phone, so I'll let it slide this time. But this is the second time we've seen him waiting outside of our house, so that's a little creepy. Also, if you see the campsite in the background, you'll notice we have a campsite villager on the island today, so we will be checking them out in a second to find out who our next villager will be. And Ember's second campsite villager is Frobert. Okay, I'm pretty happy with Frobert, it could have been much worse. I did actually have Frobert on my island Pebble, which was my kidcore jungle island, and he lived in a glowing froggy swamp. But like I said, I'm happy with Frobert coming to Ember. Also, side note, I wish it wasn't so annoying to get these campsite villagers to move in. I think I spent 30 minutes in total playing games with him trying to get him to agree to move to the island. But eventually I got to the point where he would pick the villager to kick out, and he picked Julian. And this was honestly one of the best case scenarios. I would have been happy with either Julian or Snooty. This has actually been a really good campsite experience, which just makes me more nervous for our next one. After meeting our new villager, I ran straight to resident services to redeem some of the new Nook Mile items that were just unlocked. Luckily I've been grinding out some Nook Miles, so I had plenty to buy the 4 terraforming tools that I wanted. I got the cliff, the water, the dark dirt, and then the custom codes. I don't typically use any of the stone ones or the wood pathing, so I didn't buy those, but if I do end up needing those, I'll just come back to purchase those later on. While I was buying some of the new Nook Mile items, I realized that we had talked to Harv, but we've never actually been to his island before, so I made my way over to the airport and headed over to his island. Also, let me know in the comments if you've actually used Harv's Photopia for its intended purpose. I've never done it, so I'm just curious if people actually use it. But I quickly just moved some of the furniture around and took my picture and then headed out. And that's all I can really do for this day, so let's fast forward to the next day. So this is the day that I actually got the letter in the mail from Harvey inviting us back to his island. So I started the day with flying back over there where we got to meet Harriet for the first time. Also, can we take a second to appreciate Harriet? She is so underrated. I mean, she's just the cutest little dog. Adorable. But anyways, this is where Harvey is telling us about the new co-op he built, and for some reason we're the ones that are responsible for everything being paid for. Again. And the first shop that we're going to get started is Katrina's. If you remember, one of the daily tasks of hard mode is to get your fortune told by Katrina. So I'll just be buying her shop first so we can start seeing her every day. And I've never actually had Katrina before, so this will be my first time even meeting her. And I think the concept is super interesting, and I love that her fortunes actually change things in the game for you. Again, I'm just going to skip to the next day so we can keep our progress moving. Third day is the charm and we are back on Harv's island again, but today we actually get to meet Katrina. Today I decided to find out more about my luck, and if you didn't know, with Katrina you can receive one of 4 topics, which are belongings, bells, friendships, and health, and then each topic will either be improving or diminishing. And for my first ever fortune with Katrina, my luck with health will improve. This one means that with any fruit that I eat, it will double my stamina, so if I eat 1 apple, it will give me 2 little points instead of just 1. This would be super helpful on days where I'm decorating my island, but for today it's not super useful because I'm not planning on moving or smashing a whole bunch of trees and rocks. And since today a new shop opened up, we get to learn a new hairstyle from Harriet. I do like learning these hairstyles, but typically I only use this hairstyle or the one with the braided pigtails, so I never actually end up using them, but I guess it's good to learn. But here's a little graphic of all the hairstyles that you can learn from Harriet. Today we learned this cute little low bun look, but like I said, I don't typically change my hair, so I did ask her to change it back. Next on our list of things to accomplish after hitting 3 stars is to find Brewster. So after walking into the museum, we find Blathers in deep contemplation. But he goes on to tell us about his idea to add a cafe to the museum and that his friend Brewster would be a perfect fit for this. And eventually he'll send us on a mission to find him. But as a side note, does anyone else think it's weird that we open a cafe to the left side of the museum, but the right side stays completely empty? It just seems like there should have been something to that side. And I think it would have been really cool if we actually had a Celeste observatory up there, just to fill that spot. It just seems unfinished. But now we get to go on our first cabin tour. And this is kind of like killing 2 birds with 1 stone because we get our first tour and then we'll also be finding Brewster here. We can also start now collecting the gyroids, so I'll take the gyroids from this one and then we should end up getting them on our islands now too. But I want to start collecting them because I have an idea for them on the island for a build idea, so we'll see how that goes. I'm also going to use this chance to resource clear the island, and I'm actually going to take the bushes as well. These aren't my favorite bushes, but I like them better when they're not in bloom, but we'll just keep them for now. And we did end up meeting Brewster, and he told us in a very cryptic way that he will be joining us on the island, so that's great. Also, shout out to Brewster's outfit in this scene. I think his polo is so cute, especially with his little hat combination. But back to the museum where we get to tell Blathers that we found Brewster, and apparently they have a whole mini conversation in their weird bird language, but they're coming to the island. Skipping ahead a few more days, and then Isabel tells us in the morning announcements that the museum has been fully upgraded and we have a new cafe on the island. So first thing I did on this day was head straight to the museum to see the cafe for the first time. And apparently Chevra had the same idea because she's already here. And look at her, she's wearing one of the dresses that I hung in the Able store. I think that really is one of the most underrated features that they added to New Horizons. It's just so cute. One thing I wish they added was iced coffee, because I'm definitely an iced coffee type of girl and not a hot coffee drinker. I live in Florida and it's just way too hot for hot coffee. But that's the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching. Before you leave, make sure to give the video a like and comment and to subscribe to my channel. If you watch to the end, let me know what you would add to the right side of the museum. Bye, friends!